Fast food fish sandwiches look like the safe choice for a quick meal, yet many hide problems you cannot see until you read the fine print. Today I will show you 5 sandwiches to avoid and 2 better picks you can trust more. I grew up on a small farm and later worked emergency management and logistics, so I read labels the same way I read supply reports. I focus on ingredients, fat, sodium, and how the fish is sourced and cooked. Here is the first fast tip you can use in seconds. If the menu names the species like cod or walleye, quality is more likely. If it just says fish fillet or whitefish, expect a cheaper patty. We will break down processed patties, heavy frying, hidden sauces, vague labels, and seasonal tricks that shrink portions. I will use public nutrition pages and company menu info, and I will keep it plain. By the end, you will know how to spot a reformed patty and how to order smarter. We will finish with 2 safer picks for when you want fish on the go. Summary: you will get 5 clear skips, 2 better choices, and simple checks you can use right away. First up is the Pollock patty trick that hides under the word fillet. Number 5 to avoid is the processed Pollock patty sold as a fillet. The menu might say fish sandwich, but the ingredient list often names Alaska pollock and many additives. Company allergen pages routinely state fish in parentheses as pollock. You will often see wheat flour, starches, and even hydrogenated oils in the patty system. That is not a whole fillet of cod. It is a reformed block that holds together because of binders and breading. A quick check saves you here. Look at the ingredient or allergen info for the exact fish name. If it says pollock, or calls it a fish fillet patty, you are buying a processed product. By contrast, some chains name the species clearly, like North Atlantic cod, and describe hand-cut fillets. That is a different level of quality and texture. I read these pages the same way I read supply manifests during storms. Names and components tell the truth. Tip: if the fish is not named, assume pollock and fillers. If it is a named cod fillet, that is a safer bet. Summary: skip sandwiches built on reformed pollock patties and look for a whole, named fillet instead. Next, we tackle how the crispy coating drives fat much higher. Number 4 to avoid is the heavy battered deep-fried build that soaks up oil. That loud crunch usually comes with a quiet cost in fat. Look at a well-known big fish sandwich from a major burger chain. It sits near 570 calories with about 30 grams of total fat. Another chain's crispy fish clocks around 570 calories with about 25 grams of fat, including roughly 4 grams of saturated fat. Both list 0 grams trans fat, but the numbers are still high for a modest fish portion. Most of that fat comes from the batter and the fry oil, not the fish. The fish itself is lean, but the coating acts like a sponge. In logistics, we measured loss and soak in pallets. The same physics shows up in breading. Your fix is simple. Scan the nutrition panel. If a fish sandwich shows 25 to 30 grams of fat, the oil is in the coating. A lighter breading or a grilled or baked option would cut that number sharply. Summary: avoid heavy battered fry jobs that push fat into the high 20s or low 30s and choose lighter prep when possible. Next up, even more calories sneak in from sauces and buns. Number 3 to avoid is the sauce-stacked build with a buttered bun. The fish is not the main calorie driver here. The tartar sauce often leads the way because it is mostly oil and egg. A single tablespoon of a mayo-based tartar adds about 100 to 120 calories on its own. Add a slice of American cheese and you just added about 80 more. Many shops also butter and toast the roll, which adds saturated fat you did not plan for. Put that together and the bun and condiments can match or even exceed the calories of the fish. This is where I coach simple swaps. Ask for light tartar or get it on the side. Skip the cheese or split the sauce between 2 sandwiches. Choose the plain bun if there is a buttered and a plain option. These small moves cut real calories without losing the meal. If this kind of straight data-backed guidance helps, consider subscribing to PrepWise for calm, practical breakdowns you can use today. Summary: avoid sauce-heavy buttered builds that double the calories and order light sauce and no cheese to keep it in check. Next, let's decode label language and sourcing. Number 2 to avoid is the vague labeled fish sandwich that never names the species. When a menu reads fish fillet or whitefish with no detail, that is a signal for lower cost pollock and processed patties. Some chains even rotate between species, saying hoki or pollock depending on supply. That does not give you a consistent product in the bun. By comparison, higher quality builds name the fish. You will see Alaskan pollock stated clearly in some ingredient lists, or North Atlantic cod called out in others, along with where it was harvested. When I ran response operations, unclear labels slowed decisions. Here, unclear labels mean you do not know what you are paying for. Your quick screen is simple. Prefer menus that state a species like cod, walleye, or Alaskan pollock, and note where it was sourced if offered. Avoid anything that hides behind fish or whitefish with no detail. Clear naming points to a real fillet and better oversight. Summary: skip sandwiches with vague fish labels and favor chains that name the species and the source. Next, watch how seasonal specials can shrink value while the price climbs. Number 1 to avoid is the seasonal hype sandwich that shows up mainly during Lent. Limited time runs create demand spikes and tighter supply. When supply tightens, portion sizes often shrink while prices edge up. Many customers have noticed that a famous fillet sandwich is smaller than the version from decades ago. You get more bun, more sauce, and less fish. Seasonal exclusives also make it harder to compare value because they vanish before you can benchmark them. I see the same pattern in emergency supply surges. When demand jumps, pack sizes change and unit costs creep higher. Your defense is awareness. If a menu calls it a Lent special, check the net weight of the fish if posted and compare fat and sodium to last year's numbers on the same chain's nutrition page. A year-round option at a chain with consistent sourcing usually holds size and pricing better. Do not assume a limited run equals better quality. Summary: avoid seasonal fish hype that trades portion size for price and favor steady, year-round offerings with posted specs. Next, a quick reality check on Mercury so you can focus on the real risks. Mercury worries coming up fast with fish, so let's place risk in context before the two better picks. Federal guidance lists Alaskan pollock and Atlantic cod among the best choices for low mercury. Typical averages sit around 0.05 to about 0.1 parts per million. That is low compared to high mercury species like shark or swordfish, which are not used in fast food fish sandwiches. For most healthy adults, a single fast food fish sandwich now and then will not approach any safety limit. You would need many servings every week for several weeks to make mercury the main concern. This means your biggest health variables here are still fat, sodium, portion size, and ingredient quality. That is where we have focused our skip list and where you hold the most control at the counter. Use the data to choose better prep and clearer fish, then enjoy the meal without guessing. Summary: mercury in pollock and cod is low on average, so prioritize cooking method, sauces, and sourcing when you order. Now let me give you two better picks you can fall back on when you want fish on the go. Better pick number 1 is Culvers Wild Cod Sandwich. They state North Atlantic cod harvested in the Arctic Barents Sea. That is transparent sourcing and a named species. Each fillet is hand-cut and then hand-battered only after you order, not pre-formed from a mixed patty. That process preserves a flaky texture and mild, clean flavor. Their tartar uses olives and capers for brightness instead of leaning only on oil. Yes, the roll is buttered and the sandwich lands near 600 calories, so you still need to manage sauce and sides. Ask for light tartar or no butter if you want to trim fat without losing the fish quality. This is a sandwich built around a real fillet and a clear supply story. That is what I look for when I read any menu. No mystery fish, no filler list. It is not the lightest, but it is honest about what it is and where it comes from. Summary: Culvers cod is a named wild-caught fillet cooked to order, and it is a dependable choice when you want quality first. Next, here is a simpler pollock option that still stays transparent. Better pick number 2 is Arbys Crispy Fish. It is a straightforward Alaskan pollock fillet with lettuce and tartar on a bun. No artificial color list and no surprise fillers in the fillet. The nutrition runs about 570 calories with roughly 25 grams of total fat. Saturated fat sits near 4 grams and trans fat is listed at 0 grams. Protein lands around 20 grams. Sodium is about 990 milligrams, which is notably lower than a major competitor's big fish sandwich that sits around 1,270 milligrams of sodium. It is still fried, so it is not a lean meal, but the profile is clean and the ingredient naming is clear. Ask for light tartar and you shave meaningful calories without changing the experience. Availability can be seasonal, so check your local menu during fish season. As a practical option with posted numbers and a named species, it beats vague, sauce-heavy choices. Summary: Arbys crispy fish is a simple, transparent pollock fillet with moderate numbers and lower sodium than some rivals, making it a solid backup pick. Now let's lock in the checklist and close this out. We exposed 5 traps and gave you 2 better picks you can use today. Here is a quick ordering checklist I use when time is short. 1. Look for a named species like cod or Alaskan pollock and skip vague fish or whitefish labels. 2. Check fat at a glance and avoid coatings that drive it into the mid-20s or higher. 3. Watch sauces and buns because a tablespoon of tartar and a buttered roll can double calories. 4. Favor year-round items with posted specs over seasonal hype that shrinks portions. 5. Keep Mercury in perspective for cod and pollock and focus on prep and sodium instead. When you want quality first, pull toward the wild cod fillet from Culvers. When you want a simple profile, the crispy pollock fillet from Arbys is a workable backup. If this approach to clear, calm decision-making helps you at the counter, subscribe to PrepWise and share this with someone who orders fish on the road. Thanks for watching and for learning with me today. What quick label check did we miss that helps you spot a better fish sandwich? Use what you learned, order with purpose, and protect your health with every bite.